So before I introduce today's guest today, I want to give a massive shout out to Conscious Leaders Brisbane, where they host fortnightly events, and each fortnight they have a different guest speaker. These events is where you can learn about business, how to level up your life, even just bettering yourself, and most importantly, get connected with like-minded people, which I think that's the most important thing you can do, is build up your tribe and your connection. So please make sure you go and check out Conscious Leaders Brisbane on their Facebook page and Instagram too. So today's guest is one of my homies, Blake. We connected a couple months ago, end of last year, on Instagram. So I guess with today's episode, he has a lot of wisdom to share about business and just starting up. He is currently doing video editing and working on with businesses, helping them with kind of marketing and all that. But yeah, this episode definitely should watch, stuff like my words said, definitely should watch this episode or listen to the episode, especially if you are looking at starting up a business. There's a lot of wisdom you can learn out of here. Enjoy. Alrighty, we'll start then. So
Awesome.
let's go on about the start of your journey into like business and all that kind of stuff and how you fell into it, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, geez, it's taking me back. So from like I didn't start my first business till about 20, but since like 16 and 17, I was always on YouTube, like watching, I think it was like Mark Cuban, watching people like from Shark Tank. I was watching a lot of that, and just TED Talks. Like that was like the first thing I started watching. And as a kid, I had really good parents, so I wasn't really exposed to anything like bad when I was younger. I was raised pretty good. So I was always had the thing in my head where like when I'd watch these TED Talks or people speak, I'd be like, worker. And I just started realizing more and more that's not for me.
Yeah.
And then, and then about 20 was when I launched my first business. It was actually a clothing brand. So it was called Naked Body Co. And the reason why I called it that is because I didn't sell clothes. I sold like hats, bags, slides, wallets, those sort of accessories. So it was like an accessory company. So that was my first business. I think I'm on my fourth now. Not that the others weren't successful. It's more or less that that wasn't really what I wanted to do. My second one was I was starting to get into online social media marketing. As I think a lot of people through that wave of like 2018, 2019, where everyone was trying social media marketing. And then I think
Sorry to cut you off.
So say that again.
But yeah, that's what I was looking into about then. 2018, I was looking into a marketing company. So I think everyone's kind of on the ball then. Yeah, so continue, man.
Anyone that was young and online. Yeah, definitely. And there were so many courses out there. And then my third business was, I think, how we sort of met, like-minded. So I wanted to actually create a business where entrepreneurs and people can all come together and actually meet. So I started like-minded. And then I still wasn't fully like, this is what I'm meant to do. Like I still didn't have that. And then only recently in February, I've always loved videos and film and everything like that, but I've never thought about filming or having a camera and stuff.
Yeah.
And then my roommate at the time in January this year, he's really big on filming. Like he teaches video marketing. So he somehow convinced me on my birthday, which was in February, to buy a camera. So I bought a camera. And yeah, since then I've absolutely loved it. Like filming's my new passion, and that's what I want to keep doing. But everything I've sort of done in the past, like you could say it's a failed business, but it's failing forward because I wouldn't say failure, but like those, without having those businesses that I started and then stopped, I wouldn't have had the knowledge and the experience and gone through that process to get where I am now. So yeah, it's been a pretty crazy journey. And now I'm just, like I landed, now I'm just sort of doing videos, which I absolutely love. Like anything with a camera, photography, filming is my new passion. So I'm doing freelancing now. And yeah, I'm loving it, really enjoying it.
Yeah, you're going really well with all that stuff seen online and that. What's a couple of YouTube like vlogs and that? They're pretty cool, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've been really vlogged. I love vlogging. Vlogging is absolutely awesome, but it's such a hard market to get into. So yeah, I have another friend that does YouTube as well. So over this weekend, we're actually planning like creating some video ideas because vlogs are like quick turnaround, quick production things. So we're actually looking to create a video that's like a couple of weeks of a project, which would be really exciting. But yeah, so things are looking awesome.
What are your ideas behind that at the moment? If you can give a couple away.
For YouTube?
For like your video that's coming up.
So the one we want to do for YouTube, we haven't even. Well, I'm meeting him on Sunday. That's like we're doing it a big ideas plan. So I don't know if you know this YouTuber, but there's a YouTuber, it's a beast. He does like these crazy videos. He does like giveaways. Like he'll be like he's really big YouTuber, really rich. But he does competitions like last person to leave this circle wins 100 grand, and these people like sit in a circle for like ages and ages. He does those sort of things. So we don't want to do a video like that sort of challenge. We want to do like videos where it's constructed in a certain way. But like a TikTok idea / a YouTube video idea that I had, it's kind of crazy, but I love videos like this. So I actually want to buy, it's so random, but I want to buy 10 kilos worth of Skittles and then basically bounce them on a trampoline with someone and then do like a photography shot with that. I reckon that would be an amazing shot, like having Skittles flying everywhere and someone like on a trampoline. So I could make like get some photos out of that, make a full YouTube video. So just being creative like that, I just love things that are unique, seeing photos and just videos like that.
Yeah, that's a sick.
So that's sort of like a little insight. Buying 10 kilos worth of Skittles.
I don't know whereabouts you'll find them, eh? That's a pretty good idea though. Like, think of it.
Yeah. I found it. It's about $140 for 10 kilos.
10 kilos. Yeah, it's not too bad, I guess. In bulk buy them.
$2 per packet, I think. It's about right. 500 grams.
Yeah, that's it. So, man, I've seen that you've been, working a bit of a day job too. So how do you go juggling a day job and doing the business side?
I actually don't work a day job anymore.
Yeah, I did see that. Beforehand. Sorry. That's what I should ask.
When did I quit? I was doing traffic management, traffic control, like the lollipop man with the whip. That was a terrible job. Like job's a job, like whatever, but the people there wasn't my environment. It's a really, really negative environment, like worse, like pretty much like the trading environment where it's like sort of like a negative culture, always complaining. So I really didn't like that aspect of it. But yeah, I just sort of quit, and I've been sort of managing a little bit since then. But it's funny that this call was today, because today I actually did my biggest sale ever, like my first big sale, which was absolutely crazy. So it's so now that I'm trying to do video part-time, I can actually get gigs like I did today, and then try and limit that to 20, 25 hours a week. And then in my spare time, just make videos, make content. But yeah, that's sort of how I'm trying to manage the plan at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's like the best road with the entrepreneur kind of road. It's that you're not getting paid for your time, you're getting paid for your work.
Yeah.
Which I think that's so much more valuable than per hour or whatever. Because I think when it comes to working, we always think it's like, to earn big money, you got to put in those 50-hour weeks, blah, 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 instead of, I guess, how much, what you do in that time. It's about how long you work. Is that the way everyone explains how you make money?
Yeah. And it's hard to get out of that mindset. Like even myself, I was trying to pitch them on like an hourly rate and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I was talking to my mentor, and he's like, no, you calculate like the hours it will take, charge your rate, and then bundle it all together as a project. So charging as this is how much the video will cost, and this is how long it will take, and bundling it like that. So it's kind of hard for obviously my money mindset isn't as good as other people. Are not quite there yet, because I've never really earned more than $400 or $500 a week. So that's why this sale today was super crazy, because it's like the biggest sale I've ever done. But yeah, just trying to get out of that hourly mindset, like I said, trading time for hours, which in video, obviously you still do that, but it's a highly trained skill that people have. So you can actually do really charge more for it, and actually obviously produce a great result as well for a company, because they can use that video for a very long time. But yeah, getting out of that mindset is quite a hard thing to do at first.
Yeah, because it's ingrained since school pretty much from the get-go. So, and it's like you got to retrain your subconscious mind not to think like that from when you start a business, and then you have to re-engineer all the way back to childhood to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, because my mentor, he always thinks like, what more products can I add to the market? And you got to find that point of like, I want to do high quality, but I also want to do the minimum amount of work, or how do I leverage someone else's time to get money? Like even if you're earning less by leveraging someone else's time, it gives you that ability to build, which is like how my mentor thinks. He always thinks in those terms. So you're just trying to train yourself to get to that level is it's like it's stepping stone. It's when you read books, you know, listen to audio books like T. Harv Eker, Millionaire Mindset. That's a great book. So it's just sort of training your brain to think differently.
That's like the biggest thing I tell people too now. It's like, instead of like, say when you go on your car ride, change it to, instead of listening to music, change to listening to podcasts, audio books and stuff, because over time your mind will start retraining the way it thinks.
Yeah, 100%. I always do that on YouTube because I have the YouTube Premium, so I just lock my phone, put on like, I don't know, just an interview like, was it Impact Theory or just Tony Robbins, something like that, or an audio book. So at least it's like, even if you're not listening, it's still going in your brain, like it's still there.
Yeah. I had a friend that explained that to me pretty well. It's like, because your brain picks up random stuff, like subconsciously, and then say like one day you're being halfway through a conversation and you'd be talking about it, but you have no idea where you've picked it up from, because you've picked it up from like your subconscious or yeah. It's pretty crazy.
You don't notice other things. It is, man. It's super crazy. Like it's just, yeah. It's like when you're going to sleep, it's always good to have earphones in and listening to like affirmations. I did that for a little bit, and that actually helps as well.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet. That's not a too bad idea.
Yeah, I kind of stopped because I find it hard to fall asleep anyway. So listening to something kind of made it worse. But sometimes if you're just listening, that sort of like calms your mind because you're not thinking about anything. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't in terms of falling asleep. But yeah, that's actually normally pretty good. And sometimes I think a guy on Impact Theory said that was really good. Like when you go to sleep, put on earphones and just play like there's so many YouTube videos out there that are just like wealth abundance, and it's like 4 hours long and you just play it and it just repeats like certain phrases.
Because it's also too, I think I've heard like you can get different videos that are different, I guess, tones to each ear, so it can like get you into that kind of sleep state, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like when you watch TV, like because your brain's not doing anything, it's not thinking. Like that's why some people fall asleep watching TV pretty easily, because other than the light, like because your brain has less activity when you're watching TV than when you're actually sleeping. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, things like when you're awake and that too.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So, how did you go finding your mentor?
Well, that was pretty again, this is a stepping stone. Like he loves Steve Jobs' quote. I love his quote as well. It goes, you can't connect the dots looking forward, only when you're looking backwards. But you have to trust everything you're doing now sort of connects up. So his name's Ayrton. Meeting Ayrton was a huge dot that I didn't see then, but I see now. So when I was doing Like-Minded, I was doing fortnightly meetups. I'm not sure if you remember that when I did that.
Yeah, I do.
And Ayrton had just moved to Perth like 2 months prior. This was about August last year. And when I was doing the meetups, he actually saw one of my ads, and he tried to do the same thing when he was in Melbourne, because he's from Melbourne. Yeah. So he used to had a company called B. Yeah. So he used to interview people and try and get like entrepreneurs to meet up and stuff, or like similar business. So when he saw me doing it, and he's like a couple years older, he's like, oh, this is what I used to do. Like, let me just check it out. So he actually came to the event, and then he told me about his business, and I actually had him speak at the next event. And then for the next few months, I ended up chatting to him, keeping in touch with him for a while. And then in December, I house-sitted his house when he went back home for Christmas. And then late January, I moved in with him for 2 to 3 months till the end of March. End of March, and then I moved back home. So yeah, it's pretty crazy dot. Like we actually met online, like just from like that event, which is pretty crazy.
Because I go to this pretty similar event. I guess it's not mainly focused on business, but you can get a lot of business perspectives out of it. It's called Conscious Leaders. So it's a help, like I guess, take your life up to that next level. So it kind of gets a whole different bunch of, I guess, business or coaches in the area to come up and speak and, you know, spill out their medicine, and you can take on little bits and then network afterwards, which is pretty cool. Which I met really incredible people from that.
Yeah. Like it's always good to meet like-minded people. That's why I love having a chat with you right now. And like, I do like a weekly call with like some other guys that they like one of my friends hosts a call. He has a company called Brotherhood that he wants to start, or they've just been doing. Yeah. So he just has he built like an accountability group, and does like weekly calls, and it's just awesome. Like just anytime you get the chance to meet like-minded people, it's like seminars these days. Like like half the time you go there just to get in the room inside to meet those people, not even for the content. The content's obviously good, but just being in that room and actually networking and meeting people, that's just one of the best things you can get. Because as the saying goes, it's not always what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, that's very true. Or Who Knows You, which is a good one by Grant Cardone.
Say that again.
Who Knows You. It's about who knows you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I think that's the main bit why I go to heaps of business events too, is to meet like-minded people. Because I notice getting new communities out, or school groups or friend groups, it's very hard to, especially when you are business mind or entrepreneur mind, it's very hard to relate to people that you hang around with or you grew up with.
Yeah, definitely. Most of my footy friends, I'm not my friends from. I didn't really have school friends. I was always friends with the footy boys. Yeah. But man, I haven't seen them for 2 months. I just if I if I hang out with them, I just don't have anything in common with them, which is fine. That's what happens in life. They have their interests and friendship groups, and then so do I. So now I'm sort of veered more towards I have 3 new videographer friends, just because I'm into video now, so I'm meeting more people like that, and people that sort of have businesses or want more out of life. So that's sort of where I've drifted to. And then in 5 years, I might drift and have some different friends on a different topic. Who knows where I end up? That's just sort of how life goes. So it's just making sure you get around the right people.
I definitely agree with that. Especially the more I've grown, the more that I've kind of drifted away from a couple of mates too, and then mate new friendships along the way that we one of my really good friends at the moment, we think so much alike on most topics.
Yeah, that's killer.
Mm.
And it's always just being around those people literally just sort of pushes you, and yeah, it just sort of motivates you. And you always have people to talk to, like you said, when you have friends like that, they sort of understand what you're trying to say. Whereas if you talk to someone else that doesn't really understand what it's like to have a business or run, or not work for hours, it's just a different conversation that you can't really have with them. So it's just a better level of understanding and support.
100%. I guess we'll go back to the mentor thing. What's the biggest thing you've learned so far from your mentor?
What's the biggest thing I've learned so far? I've learned a lot. I'm trying to think. I've learned quite a few things. I'm just trying to think. The first one would be, I don't know if I can think of the biggest one, but it's stuff not trading time for money. Yeah. Not lowering your value to reach a client's expectation. So, for example, if I always feel bad, if a client can't afford what I have, I'm always willing to not give a discount where it's acceptable. I'm sort of have that mindset of I need this sale, I need a discount all the way down. But then Ayrton has my mentor has a mindset of if they can't afford your business, then do you want to go for the small pieces, or do you want to go for the big pieces? That's what you sort of got to decide. Do you want to be a small business who deals with cheaper stuff and you're always sort of chasing your tail doing small jobs, or do you want to hold back a bit and go for the big jobs? Obviously when you start, you want to start getting a portfolio or start getting those smaller clients, but then you want to have the mindset of being a big business. So, and always, this is his favorite thing, always take the money first, then figure it out later. So a lot of people think, because he sells courses as well. So he says, don't spend 3 months building a course to realize that no one wants it. Put the offer out there first, see if people want it, and then if people are biting, then start to build it. So just sort of having that mentality. I think that's what a lot of big time people do. They always put ideas out there first, see what the response is, and then build it. Whereas some people can sort of get confused. Some people do the opposite. They'll want to learn for 3 months and do all this stuff, and then they get to the time and they realize that no one wants it. Other things I've learned, I don't know if that's the biggest one, but
that's a very good one though. It's ask what they want, see what the marketplace wants before before you go build the product.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely very important.
Especially when you're doing, yeah, especially if you're selling an online course. Like I buy online courses, but I'm not a course creator. I don't want to do that sort of stuff. Like I don't want to see myself as that. But people that do, like if you spend like 3 months, like, oh, I'm going to teach people this, and then you get to the point and you realize that no one wants it, like the marketplace does not want it, then you sort of wasted 3 months. But yeah, definitely knowing your value and not lowering that. That's been a big one. And yeah, and also just putting in the work. Like a lot of people, because he mentors obviously a lot of people, and like we're close friends, so we always have a chat about his clients and that sort of stuff. And a lot of people, like even from reading books, a lot of people get that dopamine hit from like telling people they're going to do something and working on it, but they're not actually working on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like people always like want to do the logos and they want to do all the pretty stuff and they want to tell their friends they're doing stuff. But when it comes to like, we need to make sales, we need to build a CRM, which sucks. We need to build this system. People just don't want to do that. So actually putting in that work and knowing that it's a timely process as well. Because his biggest thing is screw your website, screw your logo, get sales first. Don't be a startup, be a small. That's probably the biggest thing. Don't be a startup, be a small business. Don't focus on non-money making items, which is something that I've done quite a lot actually. I can't deny that. But now I'm sort of focusing, all right, let me get the clients first and then once I build up that, then start to do the other less important stuff like a logo or a name or whatever. So just getting money in the door first, because without money, like that's the fuel for your business. So yeah, don't be a startup, be a small business.
That's a good one, eh?
I've listed a couple there, but I think that one's pretty big as well.
Yeah. So how do you go with your marketing side and I guess your process from marketing all the way to sales?
I haven't really done much marketing for video. I've actually been a little bit lucky of how I found my client. So I actually went on Gumtree and someone posted a job saying we're looking for someone to do our website, and I hit them up and was like, "Yep, this is what I do. I'm a videographer. I'm happy to help." Jumped on a Zoom, a Skype call, and they were super happy with me. So, but in terms of marketing, yeah, that's what I've really done, and they've already referred me another client, even though I haven't even done much work for them. Well, I'm about to start a project for them now. That's why I had my first sale today. But that was a pretty crazy way. But yeah, I haven't really done much marketing in video just yet. And I'm not sure if I will because they're a pretty big client. But I could tell you some plans I have for marketing. That's not really for my business. It's more for my personal brand. Like once I start getting some money in the door, I basically want to grow my personal brand more so than anything else. So for example, one of my ideas is I want to buy like a lens for a camera and then basically do a video as a giveaway and getting people to follow and comment on the post. That's just an idea that I'm sort of having. But yeah, I can't really give too much to marketing this business because I haven't really done too much of that. I've sort of gotten lucky, but also searched in the right areas in that aspect.
I also do think like building a personal brand is, gets more important than building the business itself. It's like my personal take on it. Because as you evolve as a person, you're not always going to be saying that business, and then you can take a few clients because of your personal brand onto the next, and then so forth. I guess like the way Gary Vee does it.
Yeah. Like a lot of people don't even know what Gary Vee does, but if he offered you a chance to do a business with him, you'd just say yes because of like his personal brand, you know? Like you just wouldn't say no to him. But so many entrepreneurs, like even some seminars I've been to, like I remember one guy, his name's Aaron Sansoni. He was like, put your hand up if I came to you and said, give me $10,000, I'm going to start a business. Who would give me that money? Pretty much everyone's hand went up because he's like, a big famous entrepreneur. So it's it's crazy.
Yeah, I've been
to it's the main thing to grow.
Yeah, I've been to one of his events. It's not too bad. Yeah. Let's go. So, what was the original? I guess we'll go a little bit back to like-minded. Because that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit too. How did that end up planning out for you, especially with holding events and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it definitely gave me a couple of insights. Like I actually started like-minded right after an Aaron Sansoni event because I actually went to his Empire Mastery, and then that's what made me start like-minded, which was pretty like I was sort of inspired from that. Running events, I learned a lot of things. So, like, firstly, like managing people to come in. Secondly, I think people don't value free because we were running free events. Even myself, like, if someone goes, oh, "Let me give you some advice," and they give it to you, most people just don't listen to it. But if you're like, "Let me give you some advice," okay, give me $1,000 first. How much more are you likely to act on the advice that person gives you if you have skin in the game? So that sort of gave me a huge insight when I was running free events. I was like, yeah, come do this, come do that, and learning about headlines and how to promote the outcome. Not the, so at the event, I was trying to promote like, hey, everyone come hang out with entrepreneurs and stuff, but it had no plan, no outcome that I wasn't marketing. So it was a confusing message, and a confused mind never buys. So I learned that from running events. Like if you look at it now, like failures are always good, but me running events was a complete like failure. But I learned so much from it. Like it was failing forward, and so like I have a lot more insight of sort of how that works. But yeah, definitely having an outcome and sort of and having things more organized. But yeah, it was really interesting actually running events. So yeah, like-minded was a good little sprint. And who knows, I might start it up again in a couple of years. My whole goal now is just to focus on making videos. And now, because I already know marketing and I can make videos, like I can almost start in nearly any company. If you know how to manage and market people, you can start almost any company. Like I could start an accounting company, hire an accountant, and all my job would be is to like produce content and find the clients, and then just dish them off to my employee to be the accountant. So that's sort of the skills that I'm trying to create. Because I always believe, or at least for my personal, what I want out of life is I want skills that don't limit me to a place. I want to be able to travel with it. And if I can get great on a video camera, then I can travel anywhere and do videos anywhere. I can move to Sydney and continue my business because I have all these videos as a portfolio, market for a little bit, find some clients, and then I'm basically set. Whereas in some jobs, you're sort of stuck where you are. But yeah, so like-minded running events, that really, really taught me a lot. And you don't really learn that stuff until you sort of go through it. Like you can learn so much from books and stuff, but it's like listening to our parents. Like a lot of us hear what our parents say, like, yeah. Then we go through and they were actually right. And we're like, shit, like, damn it, they're actually right. Like, and then you sort of learn the lesson for yourself and then you never forget it. So yeah, running events was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely, that's one of the biggest things that I learned, especially in the last couple months, is hosting stuff for free. And people just, like, they'll come, but then they're not engaged, or they don't come at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something you got to work towards. And if you're charging and no one's coming, then the value's not right, or maybe the marketing message is not clear, or the outcome isn't clear what we're going to get. For marketing, all you got to do is sell the outcome. Like when they come to the event and learn this information, what can they actually go on and do, and what result would that bring them? Whatever the result that will bring them is sort of like the headline of how you market the event. But yeah, people just don't value free. Even me, like it's everyone, man. Like if people give me advice, like I'm just sort of like, compared to when you have skin in the game, it's a totally different ball game.
That is 100% true. All right, man, I'll wrap it up on this question, man. What is the legacy you want to create?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one. I just like to be a fun guy to be around, to be honest. Like, I don't have like massive goals, obviously, like Steve Jobs and stuff, but I just want to be a guy that people, like that people just love to be around. And being able to, in terms of video, I love being good at video because so many people have like have a message they want to give to the world. Because I do believe that everyone has a message that only you have a message that will reach people only you can reach. And if you don't know how to tell that story in a certain way or create it so people will actually watch and engage with it, then the message will not be heard at all. So I like to put myself as the person who can help that person create the message to hit that audience. So just making the world a better place, man. Like I'm all about like, even though I'm not doing like-minded or not really down that self-development path as a job, because that's not really, I didn't really see myself as being the self-development person, but I love helping people who have that skill and have that, and actually create something for them that can reach the audience. So I help the people who can help the people.
That's still
That's sort of
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely an amazing bit, because you need as much help as you can. You need to build a community around you.
Yeah, 100%. What's your legacy? I want to hear about what's your goal with
My goal
building
is
the event?
my legacy is help people to, I guess, retrain their mind to think more, I guess, more positive about life. Because we're trained from, because there's so much, like, I guess, negative input from, like, say, media and, you know, school and that we've been trained to think life sucks, when it's your perspective on life that comes down to it.
Yeah, definitely. No, you're doing a great job, man. Like, literally nearly every few days I see a new video or a new post. And no matter what anyone says, do not shave your mustache. That is awesome, bro. I love it.
Cheers, man.
I don't know if people love it or hate it, but I love it. Like, it's sick. I'm trying to grow one, but I just can't.
Nah, it's part of the brand now, so I don't think I can.
No, you definitely can't. It's funny.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode, guys. Make sure you share it with your friends. Tell us what you think. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and all that jazz. All right, cheers.